So this is the good ship Eve. She's a classic Sparkman and Stevens designed Swan 65. They're particularly famous, these hulls, one because of the designer. He's one of the most famous yacht designers of all time. He's long dead now, but produced some fantastic famous designs. Also because there are about 40 of them built through the 70s, and these were the first boats that did the round the world races, now known as Volvo Ocean Race, but previously the Whitbread race. And one of these hulls, not this one, but the same sort of boat, won the first race. Another one came second or third, I think, in the next race. So they got a real racing legacy, but it's racing 1970s style, which is completely different to 2000s style. So because she's got a good handicap, we can still win races even though she's 40 years old. We came second in the Corinthian division in Hobart race last year and third in ORC. So we're hopeful of a good race to Noumea. She's certainly a comfortable boat and an enormously strong boat. So of all the boats in the fleet, I think we'll have the most comfortable ride and the safest ride. And we look forward to it. Most modern boats will have all the ropes go back to the cockpit. They all go through jammers, and you have 2 or 3 winches, and you switch ropes between them, and everybody's comfortable back in the cockpit. On this one, you have to sail the boat half the time from the mast area. There's an enormous amount of ropes and 19 winches, so probably more winches than most of the other boats combined, and that's because it doesn't have a lot of modern facilities, and also the winches are extraordinarily heavily loaded, so we keep all the loaded ropes on winches at all times.
Right, okay.
So down below she's got 4 cabins and 9 beds. Bit surprisingly big down below when you look from upstairs. It's a bit like the TARDIS, and that's because it's got a very deep hull, goes down 3 meters and gives a lot of room. There's a V-berth right at the front with 2 beds, which we'll use mostly for sail storage. A twin there and a twin there, so we'll have hot bunking during the race, two crews of 5. With a floater, so 4 in there, 4 in there, and another in the aft cabin. We've got another 2 beds. This is the master's cabin. So when I'm cruising, this is just for me, but when I'm racing, there's 4 people in here sharing these 2 beds. That one's covered in life jackets, but master's bed and another single. 3 toilets, hot water, water maker, air conditioner. So we'll have a comfortable ride. Got our library books and all our gear. Life jackets and crap in there. So yeah, 9 beds, 4 cabins, 3 bathrooms, and everything we need. We should have a comfortable ride. Provisioning, to make it easy while we're racing, we're just got some frozen meals made from our local Vietnamese restaurant. So there'll be 90 frozen meals in the freezer. That's 9 times 10 meals. We're only going to take, I think, 4 or 5 days, so probably 2 hot meals a day and then breakfast made up of whatever else we've got on board. Scarlett has over-provisioned with everything else, so we'll have no shortage of food. Yeah. And because we've got a water maker, we can have hot showers every day. So it won't be that uncomfortable a race. What happened to that picture? Here's because she's a ketch with 2 masts, we actually fly 2 spinnakers when we're on a reach. Head sail, staysail, mainsail, mizzen staysail and mizzen, 5 sails up at once. The upkeep program on a 40-year-old boat, 65 feet long, 40 tons, with at least 200 types of equipment on board, means that something's failing every week. Yeah. So upkeep is just a full-time job. So I have Scarlett, who lives on board and just keeps on top of everything that fails. So we're constantly fixing things. A massive library of spares. So behind these covers, a lot of modern boats you won't find much behind the seats, but on these old boats, you know, with a whole bunch of toolboxes with all our spare gear in it. Under the seats, spares. Under those seats, spares. In the forward cabin, spares. So pretty much got a backup of almost everything. I've only had the boat 3 years and I haven't yet revarnished inside, but it's about due. You start to see these spots. So probably in about 2 years' time, we'll take her to Burma and replace the teak deck at the top sides. That's a really big job and very, very labor intensive. So, you know, take the boat to where the teak and the cheap labor is. It makes a big difference, and at the same time I'll get them to varnish all the insides. The reason I bought the boat actually wasn't to do fireworks on the harbour or Hobart races, it's to sail around the world. So that's this boat's been around the world 3 times already with previous owners. I'm the 4th owner in 40 years, and I'll also keep up the tradition. So in about probably 2 years from now, we'll be setting off on about a 4-year around the world holiday.
Yeah.
This boat you can cruise with. It's autopilot and powered winches. You can cruise it with 2 people.
Yeah.
But if you're going to race it seriously, you need about 11 or 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a big difference. On a Hobart race, we wouldn't take those books, but because this is a bit more of a cruisy race, and because she's going to literally cruise around South Pacific for a few months afterwards, then I'm just taking my creature comforts with me. After the Noumea race, I've got to come back and work, and then I'm going back up to Noumea with friends and family and cruising around to Isle of Pines and maybe off to Vanuatu for a bit. Then the boat will park again for a few weeks where Scarlett does some more maintenance, and then we'll come back, cruise around a bit more, and then bring it back probably in late September. We'll be back in Sydney.